Did a little modification. I'm not quite finished. I gotta add a couple of jack stands to it, but had this large dump trailer, and client wanted to be able to put a skid steer in here. And the problem was, a lot of times, I mean, these are good trailers, but a lot of times there are certain areas where to me, they lighten up a little bit more than they should. And one of those areas was they just had a piece of 4-inch channel, and that 4-inch channel was welded. Actually, it was welded like right here. Is where it went in, and you can see what happened. Well, when it did that, the ramp itself was about 2 inches below the decking. So when your equipment comes off, it'll have a tendency to drop and bang a little bit, and that's what it did here. You can see, I mean, there's just nothing there. I mean, this is not structural to hold anything. That's only 1/8 inch material right there. Maybe 3/16. It looks like 1/8. So this is really thin 4-inch channel. So what I did, we wanted to accomplish a couple of things. We wanted to bring the ramp up to the deck. And I did a little overkill, but I'm an overkill guy. But if you're going to stick heavy equipment on something like this, I don't want to take any chances with it. And I was going to do a pin-on system where you slide pins in, but I just kept their existing. The bracket here for the ramp is not bad. It's got some good brackets underneath it. I think that's okay. It's got several supports. So I went with that. Now what I did, I plated it with a piece of 3/8 plate, and then I recessed it down, put a piece of 2-inch angle iron by quarter flat bar, drilled holes in it. And I drilled holes in it to use clip pins. So what I did is a safety, so it won't, because one of the issues was these things would want to jump off. Well, with the safety pin in there, they can't do that. And there'll actually be 2 of them on each side. One will go there, and one will go in that hole right over there. I just got one in for an example here. I'll try to go underneath here, show you how that so it's just easy to put on and off. So those will go in there once you have it on, and to take them off, you just pop them loose and lift them up and slide them in the trailer. So this, I put another piece, that's why I put this other added piece of quarter here. There's really no stress on this. It's just for the pin to go through. And with all the reinforcement I did here with this 3/8 plate, this 3/8 by 6, there's plenty of strength. I'm not worried about this bending or anything like that. So just got to weld it on up there. You can see how it does now, where it used to be. Right now it's just barely below the decking. I mean, like, or right at it, like within a quarter of an inch. And that's going to be nice. And I added this piece of angle iron on the front lip, just so when a track or a wheel or anything comes off of here, it'll come down and tilt and then go down the ramps. The ramps I think the ramps were plenty heavy enough. You can get ramps off of heavy, you can't pick them up. These are pretty hefty, and I added several pounds to each one. But they're made out of just 3-inch channel with 2 by quarter angle iron, and actually that's 2 by 3/16 angle iron. So what I put up here is 2 by quarter. You can tell the thickness difference right there compared to right there. It's just this is 3/16. So I put quarter up there on top, and that front leading edge is quarter. So now I'm going to add some jacks to the side of it, because the pivot point for a dump trailer is back in here. So there's a pivot point is. So when you bring a piece of equipment off, you have a tendency you don't want to stress the cylinders or things up front. So I'm going to put 2 sidewind drop jacks on there that can be removed also. That way when they get ready to load up, they'll be able to drop the jacks. And they're jacks, they don't use the jacks to jack up the trailer, it's just to support the trailer. So I got 2 3,500-pound jacks, which ought to give them 7,000 pounds capacity, plus whatever capacity the trailer itself has built in. So, you know, I should be plenty for what hauls. It's, I think, 11,000 pound gross on this trailer. So you're not going to put piece of equipment in there much over about 8,000 pounds or so. So, but I'm building this to handle whatever they want to drive up it, you know, within reason, I'll say that. But it should be more than what the trailer can handle. That's for sure. So yeah, it's coming along okay. I'm trying to wrap this up, throw a little black paint on these just to retard the rust a little bit, and then move on to put the jacks onto the side. But I hope that made sense to you. We've added quite a bit of steel, but it should it should hold them up real good. And if you've got one of these and you want to do the same thing, I just kind of give you some pictures here so you can see what I did, because you can modify your own that way if you are able to weld and do things like that. And this is pretty overkill. I could have done it a little lighter, but that's just not what I do in my business. If I'm building something, especially if I'm just doing a fabrication job, I want it to be overly built. That's just the nature of how I do work. So anyway, I'll throw some other video on here in a minute when I get the jacks put on.